The pilot was affected way back.
Okay, we're live.
The reason he
We're
was
live.
affected was,
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
I know that's.
I go in here later.
I guess we're live. Okay. Well, then welcome to Biz Ed in Corvallis.
Woo! Fanfare. Yay!
So Biz Ed is brought to you by a number of allies that we are people that work together to put these on. And so we have Scott Weaver providing our location here in the back. We have myself doing the MC. We have Scott Smith here helping with social media. We have Drew that started this whole thing. And
Founder.
and then we have our presenter, of course, Peter Burke, which we'll find out a little bit more about very soon. So what this is really, we talk about positively actionable education. It's really, we want you to get something and be able to take it with you and use it from here. This is not a long sales pitch for what we do or what any of the people here that come in to talk about anything. They're bringing their expertise and they're doing it in a way that hopefully you take it with you. And what we want you to do is really think about it, and we have some sheets around. Drew, did you?
I got some here.
We have those that you can kind of pick that action item that you might want to do, because actually at the end of this, first we're going to have you tell us who you are, but at the end of this, well, we're going to ask you to stand up and say, what are you going to do with what you heard today, or what you got out of this? So that is one of the things we want you to take with you. This has been going on for about 8 years. Drew started this in Denver.
Yep.
Has 2 locations. No,
We have 5 locations now.
total, but 3 in Denver now, right?
3 in Denver, yep.
3 in Denver, 1 here, and 1 that just started yesterday in San Diego.
That's right.
And what inspired you to start all of this, Drew?
Loneliness. Well, that's only partially true, because I think as I dig deeper into it, I've always had a passion for building community. And so I wanted to attract leads to my own business, which is web design, through, creating good events that people would come to. And so that's kind of what started 8 years ago in a humble way, and it's kind of matured, and it's in escalation. It's ramping up even more now. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we've seen, just since I've been involved in seeing growth and what's going on. And that's really, we want everybody to grow. And that's part of this. We all get together, we support each other, and try to take something with it to grow step by step. That is really what you have to do every day. So we have boostbized.com if you want to find out more. We have a meetup. It's Boost Biz Ed. We've got a Facebook page. We've got Twitter. It's pretty well covered on the whole social media front. And really, when you mention leads and warm leads and things like that, we want you to ask yourself, do you want to be in a situation where you're chasing cold leads, or do you want to be somewhere where you get to know people and they get to know what you do? And that's really a lot of what we're trying to get out there. So our guests, I kind of introduced. Our allies will be able to talk about themselves much later. But I want our guests to say, who you are, kind of what value do you bring to the business community, or what are you doing, and why are you taking some time to hang out with us a little bit?
My name is Jeff Horton, and I was for many years in New York as an associate publisher in trade magazines and had tech, travel, and industrial areas competing with business. We moved out here 4 years ago, worked for 4 years with kind of converting brass media, which was all print, into digital, and with the credit union market that we were serving, it kind of changed the metrics. There were 10,000 credit unions. Now there are 4,900 thereabouts. They're buying each other up. So the market shifted. So I took early retirement, and I'll be starting an ad agency covering social media, services for small and medium businesses and startups in March.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
I'm Alan Koffler. I'm with Central Payments. I do credit card processing. I offer exceptional service with low rates and fees. I'm a bit of a serial entrepreneur, so I have a vast experience in a lot of different areas, and I'm just here to check it out.
Thank you.
I'm Diane Dunn. I own a farmers insurance agency here in Corvallis, and I sell all lines of insurance, primarily life insurance. I like to help people secure their future for their families.
Any particular reason you're here?
Well, just to support Drew, actually.
Well, thank you.
We all-
And you can always learn something new, so,
Always.
yeah.
I'm going to start actually from the back end of that, likewise, to support the organization. Thank you guys. I mean, you've been very supportive of us as well, i.e. sort of Corvallis meetup, so much appreciate. Opportunity to give back, so to speak. What do I do? Depends on the day. I'm a physician. I invent things. I invest in things. I'm running 3 different companies. I'm a busy guy. I don't know, and it depends on what day of the week and what hour of the day. So a lot of stuff going on.
What's your name?
Alan Kadish.
All right.
Alan is a busy guy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you want to be connected or just know something about what's going on, just talk to Alan. Definitely. It's certainly been a help to me and kind of the
Thank you.
here in Corvallis. So, and Facebook Live has been going on, so we welcome all the people out there, or the 1 or 2, or however many are actually looking at us right now. We don't know. But, you know, hopefully that anybody out there will get something out of this too. And really, for the audience out on Facebook, hopefully you can take something from this talk and use it right away in your business. So, and I know we're even trying to take comments online. We haven't done a lot of that yet, but I think we're working on that, right, Drew?
Yeah, I'll try to watch for them.
Okay, so yeah, if you have comments, you know, put them out there and we'll see if we can answer them. So, without further ado, I will introduce our speaker, Peter Burke. He works with SCORE right now and helping counsel businesses, but he's got a whole bunch of other background that I didn't really even know. And
I didn't know it either till
You didn't
Drew
know?
wrote it up.
Wow, yeah, gosh, you know, there's 10 years of teaching materials engineering and science, 13 years of instrumentation design and manufacturing at Tektronix, 15 years of inkjet cartridge design, and manufacturing Hewlett Packard, business strategy and planning, manufacturing. You worked with nonprofits. You've done a few things: real estate, leasing, education, mining, consulting,
Summer
research.
jobs.
A bit of stuff, and you got the BS, the MS, and the PhD in metallurgy and material science. So,
All true.
a little bit of qualifications there.
But
So,
you left out the school for some reason today, like the Beavers are playing?
well, that's not pertinent to what we're doing here. So anyway, he's a SCORE advisor, working with dozens of different companies right now, helping them try to figure out what the heck they're doing, get in that position. And you started your own publishing company also.
Not this year. Yeah.
This year. Wow. Okay. Well, welcome Peter Burke.
I make one disclaimer here that what I've learned about small business startups, I've learned since I retired and started volunteering for SCORE. You know, that when you work for a big outfit, in a strange way, it's a very sheltered life. You know, I didn't have to worry about everything. I just had to worry about my technical specialty. If there were legal issues, if there were IT issues, if there were marketing issues, well, somebody else did those. You know. So, coming out of a kind of intensely specialized environment into a more broadly general environment, I've tried to home in on things that are simple, that I can understand. And one of the significant barriers to understanding is vocabulary, as you can imagine. And so I want to start with this vocabulary, value proposition. That some of you may know exactly what that means, but it, I think, has in the business, some parts of the business world, it has a very special definition, you know, and we'll get to that. But what it really means is, what are you going to do for your customer? And I have one of my business colleagues, it's just, you know, what's the very first thing you're going to do in business? What are you going to do for your customer? So let's take a look at that. Here's SCORE. I'm kind of doing a pitch for SCORE. This is a format that I think works for a value proposition. Who's our customer? SCORE's customer. Small business startups and owners. What do they need? They need coaching on their specific business needs. And who are we, SCORE, nationwide association of excuse me, of experienced business people. We're part of the Small Business Administration. We're a sister organization to the SBDC, and the Corvallis. It's not that we call ourselves a Salem chapter. That we cover 7 counties. There's only about 15 of us. We're spread very thin, and our annual budget is something like $6,000 a year. So we're very much volunteer supported, and as a SCORE volunteer, I might give myself a different title. I'm a recovering retiree. So, you know, we're in it because we find it interesting. What SCORE provides is free, flexible, confidential, face-to-face. I think that's our real specialty. We are good listeners, and we also have an ethical code that says there will be no financial exchange between myself and my client. You know, they won't give me money, I won't invest in them. You know, and if I'm so excited about them, I want to invest in them, I will have to step out of SCORE and become a member of their company somehow. So, I'm going to pass these around. Let's see. Yeah, I'll pass them around. Let me jump ahead a little bit. The challenge here now is, let's take about 5 minutes. And the worksheet there goes beyond to my next slide. You'll see buried there, right in the center of that worksheet, is the value workspace for the value proposition. So I want to take about a break here and answer any questions you might have, and give you all an opportunity to just think about what I've said. Can you answer these 4 questions for yourself? And maybe jump them in. So this is a deliberate quiet time. So Drew, are you ready to answer?
I knew you were going to pick on me.
I warned him ahead.
I'm going to hand this to you. Mr. Meeting.
Got it.
Okay, I'm on the spot to answer. Okay, so you're asking, who's it for? Well, if we talk about Biz Ed, and we were talking about this before, and I believe Biz Ed is for small business owners and those in the grind that often they know their craft a lot better than they know how to do business. You know, they know how to make widgets or service, and but the business side of it, maybe they have or have not gone through business education, or through formal education, but they would benefit from some solid advice from experts in the area on how to take a next step, take action, and move forward.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Scott, what about the back?
Okay. So I said, for startups and freelancers who need a safe environment to grow their business, the BAC provides space and equalizing.
Volunteer?
My company will provide consulting, marketing, social media services for small startups that have had first round funding, as well as some medium and smaller businesses in certain categories that I'm still selecting. They'll be made up of travel, They'll be made up of tech startups, things in the education space, and depending on what their needs are, I'm hoping to have 14 people in different categories that are experts that we can bring to the table as a team or individually. Like, for example, Google Analytics, maybe somebody needs that, and some video. So that might be one part. Other companies may need much broader services.
So that gets to the question of this blank line here. Do you have your company now defined and these 14 people?
I have the name, but I'm not at liberty because
Okay.
it hasn't been
So
copyrighted.
you are a startup yourself.
Mhm.
Next, anybody? Okay, I want to admit that this is a very primitive, streamlined concept of a value proposition. And, when you start asking who's it for, well, the next slide, we'll get to that. But you can break down, there's endless amounts of detail here. And I have to acknowledge I've learned quite a bit from Strategizer, strategizer.com, and I just got an email from them today saying that sign up here for $499 will run you through how to do a really good value proposition.
Yes, they've added that to their model. Yeah. So you've kind of scaled down even the business model canvas a little bit and simplified it.
Yeah, well, the business canvas is, I don't know, a Strategizer and Osterwalder. What's Osterwalder's first name?
Brock. I think it's Brock Osterwalder. Or is it-
Whatever. Anyway, on this handout, there's a reference to Wikipedia, and the concept of a business canvas may or may not have originated with him, but the Strategizer gets they do a lot of good stuff on the web and in print. And the way I look at the concept of the canvas, there's one right at the back wall there. All of us who grew up using markers or chalk, we think in two dimensions. It's half visual and it's half linear verbal. So the canvas really is a tool to help you figure out how you're going to do what you're going to do. And the canvas in its simplest model, here's your value proposition. You make it, you sell it, and you keep track of the money. And there's a TED Talk that I referenced there. Ernesto Soleri, if you want to help somebody shut up and listen, it's a really entertaining talk, and he says he's looked at 100 companies, successful companies, Ford, Westinghouse, Apple. None of them were started by one company. They all had more than one person. The person that makes it does not think like the person who sells it, does not think like the person who keeps track of the money. So startups have to be aware. Scott disagrees. He says if you're a real true startup, you have to do all of this. That keeps you up all the time. But at some point you have to say, geez, I need some help. I need somebody else who thinks different from me. I'm very much in the make it corner here. And like my publishing company, it's basically based on my memoirs. And I wrote this really nice little book about my first 6 years in school. And it's been well received by the in-group, the people who still help support the school building that I went to. And 2 booksellers said, gee, this is pretty good. And have I gotten back in touch with them? No. So just that next step of actually going out to the customer, I shy away from that. And keeping track of the money, I don't. That's all there's to it.
So don't do as you say, not as you do.
So I need a helper. I think I will enlist my wife. Anyway, this canvas, as developed by Strategizer, it's set up as a loop, a flow chart. Your company is making it. They're doing the company. That's you personally, your employees, and your physical assets. That's the stuff of your company. You do your tax report and you report your assets. That's your company. how you make it is all of the business processes, the manufacturing processes, the printing processes, whatever it is that you have to do in order to have something to give to your client, your customer. And who helps you? This is not part of your company, but it's your service providers, your insurance agents, your lawyers, you may have an internet consultant. You know, it's somebody that, ideally, everything in this box is under your control, but you notice we've left out the real world. You know, the fads, the changing in laws, the changing in financial status. So everything in this box, ideally, you have personal control over, or you've signed a contract with somebody, and in that way you have control. So that's the who helps you. These are the service providers that you don't, like, one of the typical SCORE advices is, you got to keep track of your books, hire a bookkeeper. Do you want to learn QuickBooks yourselves? No, you're designing and building products. So that's an example of someone who helps you. The selling it, customer differentiation, you know, how, like one of my clients basically said, I want to do organic dog food for everybody who owns a dog. Can we narrow that down a bit? You know, maybe people in Corvallis who own small dogs, or, you know, just one of the things that leads people astray is they just think too broad and too ambitious. So can you focus back down? So finding out, you know, what one of my advisors says, you've got to know your customer. You got to know what magazines they read. You got to know what they eat for lunch. You know, so to get that selectivity. And along with that, why would they buy from you? What differentiates yourself about your company that will appeal to these customers? And how do you find them? And how do you keep track of them? How do you find them? This is not, you know, Drew, I'll ask you, how do you find your customers?
How do you find them?
Yeah.
I mean, is that a general question, or how do I find my customers?
Well, why don't we make it specific?
Okay. A lot of times it is through networking and the word of mouth, the people I encounter. Trying to figure out other channels as well, like meetup.com has been a good one for some areas. Eventbrite can be good too for people looking for events to go to.
So for a given company with a given set of customers, there will be specialized ways to find those customers, and then how you keep them. You know, the ongoing services. Alan,
Services, products, etc.
and blogs. You know, one of my acquaintances runs a winery down in California, and every month there's the report from the winery. You know, we belong to a wine club, his wine club, for a long time. And so just, you know, good news, updates, tips. Okay. In pink over here is everything that's going to cost you money, your salary. If you're starting a company, you should really consider paying yourself, building that into your finances, or else, you know, you become a hobby rather than a company. In green is the revenues, and down here are tools like cash flow projection, balance sheet. You know, every square has its own set of appropriate business tools. And that's why, you know, if you're in the make it category, you learn a lot about design, about the question what if, about what are the realities of, you know, do I have the resources, you know, do I have the right talent, do I have the right equipment? If you're in the sell it corner here, you know the channels that will reach out to the different kinds of customers you're looking for. You'll probably have some skills in verifying that those customers really exist. Yeah, I mean, so, you know, gosh sakes, we all are dreamers, you know. Everybody will want to buy this product. And also down here, keeping track of the money is Uncle Sam. You know, it's not just will you have enough money at the end of every month to meet your monthly obligations, but will Uncle Sam say you've done it right at the end of the year? One of the common score advices is that somehow or another get a line of credit that will automatically kick in if you run short of cash, and the whole purpose of that is just to protect yourself against a customer paying late. If you've got 3 people on the payroll and that $10,000 doesn't come in, you better have a backup plan. All right, what's the next slide? Okay, wow. Well, the next homework assignment, I think, is to look at that business canvas and we'll do the actionable items for today. We've had a little bit of time to think about your value proposition. Now let's fill in the business canvas and keep an eye out for where are you coming up short, and part of my goal today is for you to, yes, you all know all of this stuff already, more or less, but can you focus in a little bit about where should I really, get myself out of the make it corner and think about the sell it corner, and where do I need help in selling, or do I really need help in keeping track of the numbers? So just, again, deliberate quiet time. So Jeff, you look like you've been busy.
Yeah, the part I'm at now is talking to legal, is out the LLC, which is fairly simple, but the other thing is setting up agreements for third parties and how we're going to use timelines and what the either hourly rates or percentage rates are and the pricing, and then how I'm going to pay out on the billings. If we come in as a team. The second part is if we do a project for the team and then they want to just use one component, I'm going to get a percentage. I'm using a working number of 10% of what the person would charge in the future down the line. And that's the other agreement that, I'm not going to necessarily always be there, the individuals. I'll bring in the business, but the individuals can also, expand out, depending on where the need levels are. If we're not a full team, then that way can kind of go one way or the other. I don't necessarily have to monitor every single thing, but I'm still getting some revenue fees and multiple cash flow. So that's the part I'm working on now.
Okay, thank you. For myself, as my publishing, I really need I'm hiring this guy to help me decide what to write. I'm hiring another writing coach of a completely different flavor again. And I've got a file cabinet drawer full of writings with absolutely no product sense. So I'm hiring help there. Any other volunteers? Okay. So where to learn more? Identify what help you need. A certain kind of help is available from SCORE, you know, and it's not too much different from the kind of help I'm offering today. You know, we are pretty basic, although we have such a diverse range of skills, and there's about 10,000 people nationwide. You can go online to SCORE and say, I want some help on this specifically, and you're likely to get somebody to pop up. The local address is here, www.salem.score. The Salem, we used to have a walk-in office in Salem, and so that's where the name came from, but we do cover 7 counties. You can sign up with the Beck right here. Scott Weaver will be very helpful. You can sign up with Biz Ed. Drew is looking for supporters and contributors.
Oh, yeah, thank you for mentioning that.
And the business model canvas, the Wikipedia site is quite good. I suspect it was written by a strategizer. And then the Shut Up and Listen is referenced there. And as I mentioned, the make it, sell it, keep track of the numbers, 3 different kinds of people, and that's where I got that idea. I think we're back to networking and question and answer.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Well, thank you. And I find I've used the canvas in coaching people, and use the business model canvas, and it's a good way of visualizing. You know, it's one of those things that helps you because the traditional business plans things it becomes this big running bunch of text.
Yeah, I want to jump right into this visual model I dreamed up just a couple of days ago. If you want to slice an apple, well, you can get a paring knife. On the other hand, well, why not get a Swiss Army knife, and then you can open bottles and file your nails as well. And on the other hand, why don't you get one of those Leatherman things so you can strip wires and pull slivers, et cetera, et cetera. So when you go into a business tool, if you're just at the level where you're wanting to slice an apple, it can be really simple.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So, anyway, we'd love to hear from you guys in a moment about if there's anything else that you might take from this this talk or something you might use right away. But I want to make sure we recognize everybody that's been part of this. Is there anything else you'd like to say about SCORE, Peter?
I have some handouts actually, which may be. Here, I'll just pass these around. I don't think any of you will want to keep them, but I pass them around as a good example of an accessible business planning book.
And Scott, with the back, we appreciate the space and everything. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the back?
Keep one if you want.
Okay. Sorry, Peter got me thinking about the Beck and the simplicity on it. The Beck helps freelancers and entrepreneurs get started and grow. So we have incubator space that's down the hallway here, and then we do provide a different type of advising than SCORE. SCORE is if you have a deep particular problem or issue you want to do, you can definitely find the right person with SCORE. But we follow clients for 6 months, and we're actually on the meaner side because we write down what our clients say, and then the next month we compare what they did and what they say, and then get on their case. But a lot of people like that accountability and structure to do that. And the Beck is in the expansion mode right now, so we're excited about that.
That's great. And Drew, anything you want to say about what you do, other than booths?
Other than booths, well, yeah, I mean, the money making side of what I do right now is called the Action Alliance, website design, making sure that small businesses have their business passions on their website. There's 5 different business passions, and I find that's the best way to distinguish one business from another, about digging into that, making sure that is on the website and creating the most opportunity as possible. So.
Alright. And my company is Corvallis Enterprises, and really my thing is if you're growing and what happens often is there's so much going on, the wheels start falling off and you don't have systems built into your business, that's what I can help you with. And that's really I'm a recovering IT guy, and I've been in a lot of situations where, you know, I watch people flounder. They got a lot of cash flow and all that, but the money's going back out the door because they don't know what's going on with their company, and they haven't built in control systems and things to really know that. So I can help you with that. And D. Scott Smith went. So I don't know if there's anything we know D. Scott would like to say, but you can certainly talk to him. He is a, what is his tagline? He's a motivational listener. And so D. Scott's a very good guy to talk to. I really do that. So, our guests, is there anything else? You mentioned a few things, Jeff, that you were going to take with you. Is there anything else you'd like to say about what you might take with you from this?
Well, bottom line, it's obviously networking, and I mean, this booklet here, I have, you know, business plan startups, but what I'm doing every morning, I sit down and I map things out, and I'm at the point where I'm now looking at what I call the nitty-gritty. I have the concept, I got the guy who's going to do the website. Now it's a matter of going through the things that I like the least, which is the legal and the accounting related things. So that's where I'm at